I go on a first vacation in 6 years and leave husband with kids for 2 days. But when I come back home, my phone died at the worst possible moment, stranded in a cab rattling through the humid Miami night, with the driver humming off key to some pop song I didn't recognize. I'd been dreaming of this trip for 6 years, 6 years of diapers, tantrums, and a marriage that felt like a business partnership gone sour. 2 days, just two, to feel like me again. And now I couldn't even call home to check if my kids were still alive. I'm Sarah, 38, mother of three, wife to Mark, who probably thinks a vacation is just me shirking duties. For years, I've been the glue holding our family together, packing lunches, soothing nightmares, and pretending I don't miss the woman who used to paint, laugh, and dream. When my best friend Lila offered me a weekend in Miami for her birthday, I laughed it off. Me leave my kids, leave Mark to fend for himself. But the idea grew like a weed, stubborn and wild, until I booked the ticket. 2 days, a taste of freedom. What could go wrong? Mark wasn't thrilled. "You're leaving me with all three kids," he'd said, his voice sharp, like I was abandoning them to wolves. Emma, our 6-year-old, clung to my leg, asking why mommy was going. The twins, Noah and Mia, barely noticed, too busy fighting over a toy truck. I promised Mark it'd be fine. He's their dad, not a babysitter. He could handle 48 hours. I kissed them all, ignored the guilt gnawing at my chest, and boarded the plane. Miami was a fever dream. Lila dragged me to rooftop bar where I sipped cocktails that cost more than our weekly grocery bill. The ocean breeze kissed my skin, and for the first time in years, I danced awkwardly. Sure, but free. I laughed until my sides hurt, my voice hoarse from shouting over music. I felt like Sarah again, not just mom or wife, but every few hours, guilt would creep in. I'd text Mark, "How's everyone?" His replies were curt, "Fine. Kids are loud. We're surviving." I told myself he was just grumpy, that everything was under control. The flight home was delayed. Of course, by the time I landed, it was midnight, and my phone was a useless brick. The cab ride felt eternal, the city lights blurring into streaks of worry. What if Emma had another nightmare? What if the twins gave Mark hell? What if he resented me more than I realized? The house came into view, and my stomach twisted. The front yard was a mess, toys scattered. A tricycle tipped over. Not a good sign. I stepped inside, expecting chaos. But it was quiet, too quiet. The living room looked like a tornado had hit cereal bowls on the coffee table, blankets in heaps, a half-eaten pizza on the couch. My heart sank. "Mark," I called softly. No answer. I crept upstairs, my suitcase thumping against the steps. The kids' room was dark, but I peeked in. Emma was sprawled across her bed, snoring softly. The twins were tangled in their blankets. Safe. Relief washed over me, but it didn't last. Mark was in our bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. He didn't look up when I walked in. His shoulders were slumped, his face pale, like he hadn't slept in days. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice light. "I'm back." He didn't move. "You happy now?" His words were low, venomous. I froze. What's that supposed to mean? He stood in, finally meeting my eyes, and I saw something I hadn't expected hurt. Not just anger, but raw, aching hurt. "You left, Sarah. You left me here to drown, and you didn't even call." I tried, my phone died, and 2 days. He cut me off. 2 days, and I realized I don't even know how to do this without you. Emma cried for you every night. Noah threw a tantrum because I didn't cut his sandwich right. Mia wouldn't eat anything but cereal. And his voice cracked. I thought I could handle it. I thought I'd prove I didn't need you. But I do. And you just left. My chest tightened. I wanted to snap back, to remind him I've been carrying this family for years, that I deserved 2 damn days. But his eyes stopped me. They weren't just tired, they were defeated. I sank onto the bed, my suitcase forgotten. "Mark, I didn't leave you. I just needed me. I needed to remember who I am. He laughed bitter. And who are you, Sarah, the woman who dances in Miami while her kids cry, while I'm failing at being you? That hit like a slap. I wanted to scream that I wasn't just a mom, that I was suffocating under the weight of everyone's needs, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I saw Emma's tear-streaked face in my mind, heard the twins' chaos. Had I been selfish, or was it selfish to expect me to never break? The next morning was worse. Emma ran to me, hugging me like I'd been gone for years, but her eyes were wary, like she didn't trust I'd stay. The twins were clingier than usual, and Mark barely spoke. Breakfast was silent, the air thick with tension. I tried to clean up the mess, to act like everything was normal, but it wasn't. The house felt different, like I'd broken something invisible. Over the next few days, I tried to fix it. I made Emma's favorite pancakes, played with the twins, asked Mark about his day, but he was distant, his answers short. One night, after the kids were asleep, I found him in the garage, tinkering with his old motorcycle, the one he hadn't touched since the twins were born. "Mark," I said, "talk to me." He didn't look up. "What's there to say? You got your break? I get it. You needed it. But I needed you too. Sarah. We all did." I swallowed hard. I'm not a machine. I can't keep giving without taking something for myself. Don't you see that? He set down his wrench, his hands shaking. I see it, but I also see our kids crying because they don't understand why you left. I see me, trying to be enough, and failing. I'm not saying you don't deserve a break. I'm saying, I don't know how to do this alone. That night, I lay awake, replaying his words. I'd spent years resenting Mark for not seeing how much I carried, but had I seen him, had I noticed how he'd stopped riding his motorcycle, stopped meeting his friends, stopped being anything but dad, I thought my vacation was about reclaiming myself, but maybe it had cost us something too. The next week, I made a plan. I called Lila and asked for advice. She told me to stop trying to fix everything alone. "You're a team. Sarah, act like it." So I sat Mark down after dinner, the kids finally asleep. "I'm sorry," I said, the words heavy but necessary. "I didn't mean to make you feel abandoned. I was drowning too." He looked at me, his eyes softer now. "I know. I just didn't realize how much you do until you were gone. It scared me. Sarah, I thought maybe you didn't want this life anymore." Tears stung my eyes. "I want this life, but I need to be more than just this life. Can we figure that out together?" For the first time in days, he reached for my hand. Yeah, together. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. The house was still chaotic, the kids still demanding, but we started small. Mark took the twins to the park one Saturday, giving me an hour to paint. I took Emma to ballet, letting him tinker in the garage. We talked more, not just about schedules, but about us, about the dreams we'd buried under diapers and bills. One evening, as we cleaned up after dinner, Emma drew a picture of us, Mark, me, and the kids, smiling under a big sun. "This is us happy," she said. I looked at Mark, and for the first time in years, I saw the man I fell in love with, not perfect, not fearless, but trying, just like me. My 2 days in Miami gave me a glimpse of who I could be, but coming home showed me who we could be. Freedom isn't just running away, it's finding a way to carry each other's weight. I don't have all the answers. I don't know if I was right to take that trip or if Mark was right to feel betrayed. Maybe we were both right and wrong, tangled in the mess of love and sacrifice. What do you think? Was Sarah selfish for taking her break? Or was Mark unfair for expecting her to stay? Share your thoughts on where the line between self-care and responsibility lies. And